Hey folks, Studio here, and I'm going to talk to you guys about something I've already talked about, Rengar. However, I talked about AD Rengar, Assassin style Rengar. Today is going to be AP Rengar. And the reason I'm talking about AP Rengar is because AP Rengar rules, and he's probably going to get nerfed really soon, because I can't imagine League of Legends like Riot Games keeping up AP Rengar. So AP Rengar works off his W, his war cry, his battle shout. What it normally does when you have no AP is it's some very okay damage, but it's magic damage, so you don't have much penetration for it. And it also buffs your armor and magic resist. With 5 ferocity, you get one more thing with it. You actually get a 15% heal. So of your max HP, you get 15% back instantly. It's really good, but it has a long cooldown, 15 seconds at level 1, down to 10. And it's a good skill, great for being in combat because you pop it, get the armor and MR boost, survive a bit more. And if you need to use a heal, you have a heal. But AP Rengar works off this skill. It has a 1-to-1 ability power ratio, and it is amazing. You shout, you deal a crap load of damage if you have AP. But the way Rengar works, his skills go off cooldown when you get 5 ferocity. Like, you can use one skill immediately, just right away. So you may have just used your battle shout and it has 14 seconds left on cooldown, but if you get 5 ferocity, you get a free shout. And that is, the basis of Rengar if you've never played him before. So you get 2 shouts, each with an ability power ratio of 1-to-1. You also have his ultimate, which provides another 5 ferocity, which means another free shout, which means you can get 3 shouts right there in about 4 seconds with a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's 3 ability power, or 3 damage for 1 ability power, if you get everything done properly. It's very cool. It's very good, but it's weird and it's not normal because he's also a melee character. So really quickly, the design behind it. The reason Riot would give an ability power ratio, and especially one so high, to somebody like Rengar, who's supposed to be AD, is because they want Sheen or Triforce, just any little random ability power you get, the AP from Baron buff, they want it to be useful. Like, it's what they've done before with, for example, Aurelia's Equilibrium Strike used to have a 1-to-1 ratio, kind of the same deal. So they want it to be useful, but unfortunately, in the case of Rengar, you can build a strategy around it. And that's why I think Riot's going to nerf it. Because if you can build so much around what's really kind of a dumb gimmick, Riot hates that. So let's go into the replay. It is going to be following Yazuki from oRbit Gaming, this guy, this little cat right there. Chat is disabled because some mean things are said. I will dominate. If you've ever played a solo queue game with him, he's a bit of a chat troll. It's kind of fun, but I don't want any of those hate coming out. So Yazuki playing Rengar. What are his masteries? Well, he actually has a 3 AD. Rengar's base AD is 58, so he's got 3 AD from offense, and then 16 AP. So he's running AP Quints, Magic Pen Reds, I believe Armor Yellows, and then I think partially MR Blues and Cooldown Blues. I actually did not double check that. Looking at his cooldown reduction, nope, it's all MR. So he's got some scaling MR, he's got some base MR, which is pretty common. I actually love how this exchange works out. We'll fast forward it, but pretty much Gragas revealed himself, like everybody on blue team saw Gragas. Teemo's just hiding in this bush, and then they go for the invade. Oh, I actually did not know Executioner missed that flash the first time I saw that. But they go for the invade, they miss the invade. Oops, oops, oops. Teemo gets away, gets spotted by a ward. Very silly. But Rengar, okay. So his first point actually goes into Bola Strike, and there's a few reasons for this. One, the cooldown is shorter, so 11.5 seconds instead of 14 seconds. So you want the shorter cooldown just because it lets you build more ferocity. The damage on it is not very high, but it also provides an easy way to get CS from range. So he can always use his leap to get in close and deal damage that way. But what he's doing now is he has a backup. He can run up Bola Strike Creep and get CS. He's really waiting till level 2 to be aggressive though. So go ahead, slow down. He's camping the bush. If a gank comes from that Amumu, for example, level 3 gank, he'll be safe in the bush just because he can always jump to a creep. And what the heck are you doing, camera? Oh man, I missed the basis of what Rengar does. Let's rewind up. So this is what Rengar does in lane. So here's Yazuki. He's about to hit level 2, just needs 2 CS. He hits level 2. What does he do? So Bola Strike, shout, shout. and some damage from creeps, as well as an auto attack, brought I Will Dominate to about 2/3 HP. That's a lot of damage, and though it really adds up quickly. So Ferocity, or Battle Roar right now, without any Ferocity, is doing 91 damage. You get the 5 Ferocity, you get that extra 91 damage again, so it's 182 damage nuke at level 2. Obviously it takes a while to build up, it takes about 30 seconds at this point, so it's not easy, but the damage is amazing. Bola Strike will almost never be used for the root unless you're helping set up a gank for someone else. It's actually never ever supposed to be used with Savagery because that damage is insane. As you can see, I Will Dominate just cannot win exchanges. That is just not something he can do anymore. Yazuki, he keeps up the pressure. You just need to keep building Ferocity, just spam his spells. And now preferably, every Bola Strike wants to either finish off a creep or hit I Will Dominate. Every shot wants to hit I Will Dominate too. That's not always an option, but as long as you keep building up for your Ferocity, you can keep being hyper aggressive because you have the heal coming in, and also just really good burst. So I Will Dominate actually already had to go back to base. Jax is not an amazing early game character, but he can usually deal okay with a lot of melees just because he has fairly okay harass of his own. But Yazuki just bullied him away. Like, there was nothing I Will Dominate could have done to survive that. Very few characters can actually deal with this. I think the best example is top lane Nunu is very, very good against Rengar because they both just sustain like crazy. It's a very dumb lane, actually. So, we have shenanigans going on in the jungle. So here is Shyvana being chased by Jax and Amumu. Oh no! Oh no! Now, we get to see a cool example of how well Rengar can work, and actually just good play in general. So, I'm going to slow down this very quickly. Shyvana's running, Yazuki's trying to stay in front of Shyvana to body block because Gragas flashes forward, use body slam, it only hits Yazuki. So, shout, and then I believe Yazuki uses a Bola Strike for the root to keep Gragas in tower range, and that helps secure the kill. So pretty cool. Just want to show that again in fast motion because this is what it'll look like in a normal game. Yazuki, he tries a body block, he's going to shout. Actually, he uses his Q to build Frost, I believe. So shout, Bola Strike, then Q. So you just use all of his skills, use the Bola Strike just for the root, even though it's less damage, and that helps get the kill on Gragas. Now, what you do as Rengar is you just keep up that pressure. Like I said, keep spamming your skills. You always want to be cycling through your Ferocity. I love this video because it's just kind of funny. But if you keep spamming your skills, what you get is more Battle Roars. You keep spamming your Battle Roar, you keep that up, you will have a lot of sustain, and you always have the threat of having a Ferocity spell. You don't ever want to just kind of sit on 5 Ferocity because you have a free heal, you have a lot of damage if you use your Q or your shout as AP Rengar in this case. So be offensive with your skills unless you just like are in a standoff in mid lane and can't use it, then don't. But stay aggressive, cycle through your skills. Like Yazuki, he's going for all-out aggression. He does have 5 Ferocity right now, he just wants to make sure he can get something done. In that case, he could not actually hit I Will Dominate, but he gets 3 CS out of it. And that's kind of the whole thing that Rengar has going for him. You don't conserve your skills. Like, if you want to go for a gank or a fight, you obviously want to save your cooldowns just in case, you need to use them. But when you're just playing normally, you keep spamming your skills. Obviously, when you spam your skills, you have to be cautious about the enemy, going aggressive on you. Your skills have very high cooldowns. I mean, at this point, Battle Roar is up to 12 seconds. That's incredibly long still. Bola Strike's still 11.5. So you want to cycle through your Ferocity, of course. If the enemy's too big a threat, you have to be extra safe, extra cautious, and not just spam Roar, because what if they actually engage on you and you don't have your Roar? Your Roar is a horrible statement, by the way. That is not pleasant to say. But Yazuki, let's look at his item build. So Ionian Boots of Lucidity and Cage's Lucky Pick. So 15 cooldown reduction and 25 AP with the GP5. So Cage's Lucky Pick is pretty much saying I'm going to buy a DFG. And this works with someone like Rengar. DFG helps fill a hole in a lot of characters that don't have that much burst, or they want to supplement their burst. In this case, Rengar, he needs a CDR. Now, the shot's only at an 11-second cooldown. Bola Strike's only at 9.5 seconds. So the cooldown's very short for his skills. actually, I don't think the cooldown in Battle Roar is put right. I think that's actually a display glitch. But now he can spam his skills. Now he can just, get more heals, get more offense. Look at the damage he does to I Will Dominate. Like, he's trying to get CS, but he's just hugging so close to him. And the shout does so much damage that he's just getting whittled down so quickly. And this is why it works so well against specifically melee characters, because it hurts. I Will Dominate goes for some aggression because he's trying to make a play happen, but he deals some damage. What's going to happen? He's just going to heal it. He's just going to get that HP back, and there's not much I Will Dominate can do about it. And that is a gimmick, essentially. You spam your skills and you have a good heal, so you can keep spamming your skills. And the more you spam, the more you heal, the more annoying you are, the more damage you deal. And of course your skills are partially AoE, so you affect melees like Jax. Now, this is a good example of what can go wrong with Rengar's ultimate. So, let's just do a numbers test. And I don't want to use rewind too much, so wait for the ghost to get blown. Jax is at 478 move speed. Rengar's at 436. So Jax just moves faster because of the ghost buff, and that is something Rengar actually has a problem with. The move speed buff on his ultimate's very good. It's 10%. 10% doesn't seem like a huge number, but realize that Rengar actually has very high base move speed, about 320. So with any sort of extra move speed, for example from Janna, from his ultimate, it's quite a bit of move speed. So he moves quickly, but there are ways to get past that. Characters like Jax with his ghost, a good flash actually can get people out of range. But it's a good chase skill and it gives you that ferocity, so it's more or less part of a combo. The normal combo I'd say for Rengar is to use all of his skills, so his shout, his bullet strike, his Q, savagery, then also his ferocity shout. So there, Yazuki uses all of his skills, except the savagery, and gets a shout out with his ferocity. And if he had his ultimate up, he could actually use his ultimate and get one more shout off. We don't actually see a very good example of this. We can see where he tries it, and it will go wrong. But as you can see, Yazuki, when he doesn't have his cooldowns, he backs off. He knows that Jax, even though he's 2 levels behind him, will win a sustained DPS fight. But with his cooldowns up, guess what? He can be a huge jerk. Look at that jerkage, that massive jerkage going on. And right now, he has 2 ferocity. He's just looking for a shout. And I Will Dominate, what can he do about it? He's trying to run, trying to get out of there. You do anything? No. No. Now, neat trick. I'm gonna rewind for, because I'm just keep using rewind. Watch Yazuki as he goes for this dive. Look where he builds 1 ferocity. So I Will Dominate is trying to get away. He actually hits the turret, gives you 1 ferocity, and actually gives you attack speed buff that savagery provides. So realize that obviously you can't do it with bullet strike and savage roar, but savagery's Q will proc off turrets, will proc off anything, will proc off wards. I've gotten ferocity from wards, which saved my butt later in a fight. So get your 5 ferocity and then just go crazy. That's what makes Rengar fun, by the way. You play Rengar, you get to play stupid. You get to play crazy aggressive. His ultimate is an amazing escape. We'll see an example of that later. But until you've seen oracles on the enemy team, you can just do whatever the hell you want. So right now, Yazuki uses the ultimate, use it for the leap, shouts, and helps Shyvana get the kill. Very cool escape right there. Obviously it doesn't work out. But very cool. Actually, I do like that what Gragas tried to do. He thought that she was going to actually try and juke and dodge the barrel, and then just completely miss a prediction. Now, we're going to see Rengar be crazy. So he's at 4 ferocity, he's trying to find an opening. He's squishy though. His base stats are actually very low in terms of HP. Jax and Gragas both have comparable HP. But he does decide to go for the fight once he sees the AoE come down. So he shouts, he uses his skills, like he used savagery, he used bullet strike, all on Gragas, and at this point, his cooldowns are off, but he just waits. He tries to kite, he tries to keep moving, and I Will Dominate has to retreat. So it was a 1-for-1 exchange, but at this point, Yazuki is more or less in the lead. Now, something to remember about Rengar is that his passive works from the brush. So, we'll see a good example of this. Yazuki goes to the brush, gets a shout, gets the bullet strike off right there, and just uses the brush to his advantage. This is what you do as Rengar. You play crazy, you play aggressive. The more you fight around the brush, the more you can be juking. So look at that, he tries to juke again, and he actually goes for a very aggressive play here. He tries to shout aggressively and kill a Moon, but the Sunfire Cape and this Tantrum actually kill him off before he can do that. So that's an awesome play, by the way, just because he was able to keep up the chase on someone like Jax. That's something that Rengar is good at. Now, like, look at mid lane. Okay, imagine your Rengar trying to chase somebody from over here to over here. What do you get to help you? You get nothing. You don't get the brush, you don't get any sort of move speed. You can use your ultimate, you can use flash. Now, look at the chase that could have happened. Into the tri-bush, if you walk by this bush, Rengar can actually walk into it and just keep chasing after you. And unless they go out towards the turret, which they really should against Rengar, if they keep in the jungle, you just have all this jumping potential. You can really just keep spamming Rengar's, what is that called? Unseen Predator. So Yazuki, he uses that as a free leap strike. So there are different escapes. There are abilities like Shumpo, where you have to target any unit. Abilities like Leap Strike, or not Leap Strike, Akali's ultimate, for example, you have to target an enemy unit. Sometimes there's hero only. I actually don't know if there's a hero only escape. And then there's abilities like Kassadin's ultimate, Rift Walk. Rift Walk, you target anything. So what Rengar has is, he has a Leap Strike. He has an ability where, or Blink Strike is actually what it's normally called. An ability that works on enemy units that you can use to jump. And you can use it to chase, you can use it to escape. So Rengar, if he's ever near a brush and there are enemy minions near his escape route, there's his escape. So Yazuki, he gets jumped on by I Will Dominate. The first thing he does is use his ultimate. Now he has 5 Ferocity, his cooldowns are back up, now he can initiate. I Will Dominate knows that he's actually in a bad spot now. So the DFG gets used, Yazuki shouts twice, I Will Dominate's taken to about 1/3 HP. Now, Yazuki, like I said, he's a smart player, he's a very good top laner. He knows he's in danger, he actually runs away just to get his cooldowns back up, and because of the DFG and because of the Ionian Boot's lucidity, he's back up to, his cooldowns come back up very quickly. So Bull Strike gets maxed second instead of Savagery. The reason is, it's easier to get the harass off, but more importantly, when you're playing AP Rengar, you need ferocity like crazy. That is your bread and butter. Like, everything you do is based off getting extra shouts off. So with Bullet Strike, it's a shorter cooldown, so you can spam it more often. Compared to Savagery, that's not going to be the case. You're just going to get more damage, which is nice, but when you don't actually have any AD, actually Savagery is still a really good nuke, but it's not as good as the shout. That is actually very good. With base AD, it's still going to be about 270 damage, but of course, that is at the cost of 400 damage. So Yazuki, he is just terrifying right now, but he is squishy, and that is something important about AP Rengar and even AD Rengar. You're not going to have very good tank stats. You do get quite a bit of a MR and MR 60 from his Battle Roar, but you can't be too crazy. Now when you watch Yazuki plays, he doesn't go for insane dives. He does play aggressively, he knows he's ahead of I Will Dominate, and he just keeps up the pressure. But, like, there's a trend though. When he doesn't have his cooldowns up, he doesn't keep chasing. Also, he knows he can escape at any point because what the hell can Gragas do to him if he has his ultimate up? The big scare is going to be a Oracle's Elixir. So we'll see a good example of the escape that Rengar has in a second. It's very funny. There is no fade time on his stealth and his ultimate. So let's just watch what happens here. Yazuki, he's trying to fight a Mumu, gets chased out, doesn't have to do anything. Actually, I think I might be using the wrong times. Sorry. So yeah, now he pushes I Will Dominate. Now we go. Here we go. So Mumu uses his bandage shots, uses his ultimate. Yazuki just immediately uses his ultimate, and he's gone in an instant. Like, there's nothing they can do to keep up with him. Actually, he's taking a lot of damage from Mumu's Sunfire Cape and Despair, but that's not the point. The point is he can press R and is completely disengaged. Mumu being played by Ikari should not have ulted there, but I don't think he has that much experience with Rengar. So just remember, if you're playing against a Rengar and you don't have some sort of stealth detection, unless you have the most amazing coverage of people ready to catch Rengar when he de-stealths, you need something to keep him up. You need to either burst him down before he can stealth, which is very possible with the right CC, or you need to have an Oracle or just something to keep him in place, something to keep him revealed. Lee Sin, for example, is very good against Rengar's ultimate, because he has two ways to reveal him. Corki, kind of the same thing. You get land a phosphorus bomb that stealth does nothing. But if you're a Moo and Jax, he presses R and he's safe. Now, Yazuki, like I said, he just kind of does what he wants. The ultimate gets a very short cooldown, only 56 seconds at level 2, because he has a CDR. Now, it's important to note, he's going for a Rabadon's death cap at this point. He skips the Bone Tooth Necklace. What does a Bone Tooth Necklace provide? It provides attack damage, and it provides, some offensive abilities, some CDR, some penetration. It's useful, but right now, what does he need as Rengar? He needs ability power and cooldowns. Now, this is what Rengar's ultimate is great for, just surprising people. He actually doesn't get the kill on Delight, but he ignites Janna, gets the kill. He's able to turn around on Delight. What can he do? He gets the kill. And Amumu, well, there was actually a dragon there, and he gets the kill. He actually gets taken very low, though. That was a 3v1, a very short 3v1. But just because he was not really chasing people down and killing them instantly, the fact that the fight was at all sustained really started to hurt him. That's important to remember. As Rengar, you're not tanky. He has one of the worst base stats in the game in terms of HP as a melee character. I believe he has less HP than Yi, and barely any more HP than somebody like Ashe. So as Rengar, especially AP Rengar, because you don't really build defensive items, you got to look out for your squishiness. Eventually, Yazuki actually does build a Warmog. I believe he gets Ruby Crystal right now just to start building up some HP. He builds a Void Staff first because he's far ahead and wants to keep up the damage. But you need to build a decent chunk of HP. Because of the armor and MR you get as a Rengar, with Battle Roar providing 60, raw HP is very effective. So at this point, this is a solo queue game. So one team has a big advantage and then things go to shit. Like that is the case. Yazuki uses ultimate, dives a very dumb dive, gets a kill. And at this point, the game is just going crazy. I thought I felt a spider on my leg and I freaked out for a sec. But like everything's falling apart for the enemy team. This is what happens. Like people lose focus, and Yazuki is just able to clean up and do his thing. He's 9-1-2 at this point, which is nuts. So they push forward, they keep pushing, they pick up kills, and Rengar is an amazing pusher because with 2 shouts, or actually 1 shot at this point, you can clear all ranged minions. With 2 shouts, he can clear every minion in the lane, except for maybe a cannon minion. So, wait, actually, let's just watch him push right now. So he doesn't have any ferocity, so he can't push super far, but all those ranged minions instantly dead. And actually, Delight has to run from him because, he's scary. Actually kept 2x on. This is the combo I was mentioning before. So Yazuki's at 2 ferocity. He jumps, uses his shout, uses bull, uses savagery, and then gets a second shout off. Then he uses his ultimate. Now Delight gets away because he used his flash. He's teamed with Move Quick, and he also landed the mushroom onto Yazuki. But that was 2 shouts, 1/3 shout. That would have been enough. And this is what makes AP Rengar so dangerous if he's not controlled in a fight. He has a 560 damage nuke right now. He can cast it twice very easily if he just uses his skills in the right order. And he can cast it a 3rd time with very little effort. That's 1500 damage being done in an AoE. Now obviously Yazuki has to be in the fray. He has to be very close to whoever he wants to damage, and if it's everybody, well, he's going to be close to everybody, and that's scary. But he still has a stealth, he still has an escape, and he doesn't necessarily have to use it as a massive AoE skill. Now, AP Rengar, there aren't a lot of ways to really beat it in the normal meta, because the sustain is so good, the damage is amazing. It's just really damn good. He does suffer if you punish his cooldowns. You have to realize, though, he's going to have good sustain. So you can't just assume, oh, well, I'll whittle him down to finish him off, because if all he's doing is spamming Battle Roar, that's going to be 15% of his HP every time he gets 5 ferocity, which once he hits level 4, it doesn't take very long. Or level 3, actually, if he decides to level up savagery then. So you have to go ahead, you have to find your opportunities to burst him down. And that's really where you get the kill off. Now, unfortunately, his ultimate makes that a huge pain. So he's not an easy character to fight against. I think he has a lot of potential as AD that people are still going to be discovering. As AP, though, you can just be a huge jerk. It's awesome. It's so dumb. It's just dumb. At this point, though, the game really is starting to fall apart for the enemy team. They're down 11,000 gold. This is solo queue. There's no easy communication. There's no solid battle plan to say, alright, this is how we'll come back. Also, there is a Teemo on the enemy team. Kill all Teemos, but more importantly, Teemo isn't really the best late game AD in the world. And Ezreal is 5-3-5 and super terrifying. Rengar is 10-1-2. Now, like I said, Rengar doesn't get the Bone Tooth Necklace. Or AP Rengar doesn't get a Bone Tooth Necklace, which you normally get, and it provides more and more bonuses as you get kills. So you do lose a little bit of your Rengarness because you don't get the Bone Tooth Necklace. You don't, for example, get additional range to use your leap from the bushes. That's a very handy thing to have, but you don't get it. Now, that is the burst of Rengar. Spamming shot with a DFG shot was enough to instantly kill Janna. Of course, then backup coming in from Alistar. And as you can see, Amu is trying to fight, but once Yazuki gets cooldowns up, there's not much he can do. And Yazuki's just staying in there. He's just staying aggressive. He knows he can sit there as long as you don't burst him down, which right now nobody has the damage to. He's going to be terrifying. He's going to be scary. And that's really what you do as a Rengar. You just play aggressive and mean. It's really fun. I love doing it. But you will have to take risks because he is just by default, because he's not an initiator, he doesn't have the most HP in the game. By default, you are taking risks by picking Rengar. It is a risky character. I will say that AP Rengar is safer than AD Rengar just because the fact that it's beneficial to spam Battle Roar, especially when it provides you that heal. Well, the more you spam it, the safer your lane is because you get more HP back. AD Rengar wants to use Bola Shot and Savagery like crazy, and you don't get the benefit of always having your Harass and Sustain being tied into the same skill because you're not AP Rengar or Warwick or Vladimir. At this point, like I said, the game's falling apart. This is cleanup phase, 26-minute mark, 12,000 gold difference. Baron being taken right now. Yazuki's just trying to zone out the enemy team, see if they come. He can go ahead, get a great pick off. Let's actually look at the damage he does. So now he's up to about a 700 damage nuke, which he can cast twice easily, so 1400 damage, up to 3 times, so 2100 damage in that situation. Also 277 from his, or 273 from his Bull Strike, and a very small amount from actually 245 from Savagery, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. It's not amazing, and he's not gonna have penetration, but it's okay. At this point, Delight, what's he doing? Just pushing bot lane. He doesn't care. Rengar is pushing mid with the rest of his team. It's dead. They're gone. I'm sorry, they're gone. Rip, rip, rip. And at this point, in solo queue, they can try and fight, but they know they're dead. So they're going to go for stupid plays. They're just going to let the turrets get pushed down. Here's the dramatic final conclusion, but they're so far behind. What can they really do? And the answer is get murdered. I mean, Alistar's actually tanking everything with his ultimate. I mean, ult does come down. Rengar, though, just actually, I did not follow Rengar enough. So let's follow the Rengar. What does Yazuki do? He sees a move going for the ultimate, trying to stay out of the range actually, which is what most people try and do if they're not like the AD carry. He actually stealths and gets rooted. It just obliterates Delight. Someone else shows up, Greg's like flashes towards him, and he helps pick him off. Doesn't actually get the kill though. And the rest of the team just dies. A very quick ace. And you know they just have to go ahead, kill the turret, kill the Nexus. We can see that great big explosion, which I'm just gonna wait for because I like that explosion. But I recommend you play AD Rengar while you still have the chance. This will get nerfed. A lot of the chat they had in game, which is not being shown, with people talking about it. Apparently there's a hotfix coming out, which may be the case. I don't think it's the case. I don't think they're hotfixing it. I think they're waiting for the next patch. Oh my god, my hair. No. No. Oof. But they will probably fix this. I'm not going to guarantee it. They should. That's the problem. They really should. It's a dumb gimmick, but it works and it's effective. So play it while you can. It's awesome to play. It's super fun, and yeah, it's AP Rengar. Now things you may have noticed in his laning. What's he do? Like I said, just keep cycling through your skills. Keep spamming W. Keep up the aggression. Be crazy. You're always susceptible to ganks. You have high base move speed, so that's a nice thing. But if the enemy jungler has exhaust, that is a problem. So you want to be cautious, but because of how easily you can push up lanes, if you ever need to back off and just push and back off, you have that option. Usually past level 3, level 5 especially. One What you have to watch out for is burst damage. That will be your end because you have good burst yourself, but you're dependent on your cooldown cycles. Like you are a caster. You can't just use your auto attack, which will actually be decent, but it's not what you rely on. You rely on your CDR and your very high cooldown spells at the beginning of the game to really do anything. And, well, it's fun. It's a blast. Now the combo, if you want to do maximum damage, is to have at least 2 ferocity. Use all your skills, and then you use your shout again. And then use your ultimate, and use your shout a 3rd time. You can also, if you have 4 ferocity, actually do another cycle of a cooldown to get a 4th shout, or a 4th and 5th shout out. But that takes a while. It takes a very long time. And if they're surviving the 4th shout and the 5th shout, you've probably already died. Now, this was Studio. I hope you enjoyed this little video on Rengar, AP Rengar, the coolest of the Rengars. Actually, I love AD more. But, really what I'm trying to say is don't jungle Rengar. I'm sorry, he's not very good at it. His jungling ain't good enough. Actually, I might cover that a later date if it is proven to be effective, which so far tests say no. But, Studio, hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys soon.